What's up, everybody? Champs here, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Hungarian Grand Prix, which happened a moment ago. So, yeah, let's get this started. Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen locked at the front row at the start of the race, with I believe Kimi Räikkönen had a was in pole that he was in pole for the race, and yeah, so let's get this started. For Ferraris, we knew that Ferrari is going to be fast at this track, and before the race I already knew that it's all going to be all about Ferrari, because Ferrari is going to end up winning the Hungarian Grand Prix hands down. And yeah, so at turn 3, both Red Bulls had jumped Hamilton, but however, Ricciardo had some damage from Verstappen, which basically both Red Bulls were got tangled up towards each other, which caused them to crash. And I believe that Ricciardo was out of the race. Yes, Ricardo is out of the race from lap 1, so it was troublesome for him. And there was a safety car up until lap 5, which comes to which goes towards the Ferrari, which goes towards the Ferrari's advantage. And so yeah, it was a pretty decent, a very good restart for the Ferraris. And Hamilton was all over Verstappen, but however, from 2 laps later from the restart, there was an investigation for the Verstappen and Ricardo's incident from first lap, and it turns out that Verstappen had a 10-second penalty, which of course he ended up ruining Ricardo's race. So wouldn't he not get a time penalty for that one? So no investigation needed for that. No, the investigation was not needed for that part, because we could see clearly that Verstappen ran into Ricardo. I didn't know it was by accident or was on purpose, but he ended up ruining his teammate's race. For that word of the matter. Hamilton was at the charge. He's trying to go back into his winning ways. He wanted to win. And as you can see throughout lap 11, Ricardo clearly not happen. He, of course, Ricardo did. We kind of blame Ricardo for that one, for the incident for Verstappen. Like, we couldn't blame for why he was upset from what Verstappen has done to Ricardo. Like, Ricardo was trying to actually try to win the race, and Verstappen, I it's just my opinion, but we could see that Verstappen was in the race just to wreck people. I don't know, but it was not a good race for the Australians, so that was not really good stuff. And Vettel and Raikkonen was stretching away through the race. They were dominating the race. Who could have thought Ferraris dominating the Hungarian Grand Prix? They were using their teamwork. They didn't hit each other just like what the Red Bulls did. They were just working together just to secure a lead for a team, because they knew that of course if Vettel wins, he could have just extended the lead of this drivers' championship, as well as I believe that Mercedes were before the race started. Mercedes were in the lead of the constructors' championship over Ferrari. So if Ferraris would end up getting a 1-2, they would end up closing the gap or else they would just take over the lead. For that matter of fact. So yeah, what a race! And of course, there were some neat passes which I would like to see more of throughout the race and that sort of thing. As but there were lap 21. There were some problems at the Haas camp. Grosjean had to retire due to the fact that his front left tires was losing tire pressure. I don't know what happened. Maybe he had a puncture, that sort of thing, which causes the tire to lose pressure. And he had to come in for soft tires, but therefore there was a wheel nut. There was a wheel nut on the racetrack. So I didn't know what happened to his car, but it ended up not running his race, and therefore he ended up going out. And of course, right, Vettel and Raikkonen were the two Ferraris at front. They were Vettel was in the lead, and Raikkonen was close behind. So Raikkonen would be like, okay, it's time to enough of this whole teamwork shenanigans, enough of going and heading away from the other pack, especially the Mercedes. It's time. It's time for me to win this thing. It's time for Raikkonen to win this race. He wants to win instead of Vettel, so the chase is on. So and of course, late in the race, it was of course throughout the entire race, it was a decent chance towards the leading of the race for Ferraris as well. As in turns, of course, Williams, you might wonder where Paul di Resta came from. Well, Paul di Resta actually ended up replacing one of the drivers for Williams. I couldn't remember the name, but one of the drivers. Yeah, it was Felipe Massa, I believe. Massa was ill, so he couldn't attend that race, which leads to a change that di Resta would be replacing him for the race. And I would say di Resta in his return to Formula One that he ends up doing really well. Alonso and Sainz had a pit lane race, so not an actual race, but a pit lane race to see who can get out the lane the fastest between the two. And it turns out that Alonso is faster, but Torrezo's got. But due to the pit box for the Toro Rosso, for Saints ahead of Alonso, Saints had enough time to get in front of Alonso, and they were on. And so it was not only was a battle for the in lap for throughout the pits, but it's also for the out lap four. So whenever they return to track from the pit exit, to be honest. As far as the Ferraris and the Mercedes concerned, that Vettel's pace was diminishing, so he had so apparently he has handling issues. There were issues before Vettel's handling, so Kimi Räikkönen had to keep that in mind for that. But however, in the end of the race, it was well to before the end of the race. It in the lap 62, Paul di Resta's return to the Formula One was not, would say, not good for that one, as he ended up had an issue in retiring. I didn't know what the issue was. Maybe it was the issue among the cars, to be honestly. And of course, Hockenberg had a problem where he was forced out by Magnussen. Now, I don't know if the stewards saw that, but I believe that Magnussen had pushed him out by accident because of the because of his handling state, and therefore it was leading to him not there. So yeah, and at the end of the race, Vettel ends up winning the tie race, winning the Hungarian Grand Prix, while Hockenberg had to retire. And Magnussen was given a 5-second penalty. It was given a 5-second penalty due to the fact that he ended up he ended up pushing Hockenberg out of the racetrack, so that ruined his race. And so yeah, at the end of the race, Vettel with a win. Kimi Räikkönen finished in second. And to round off the podium, it was between Bottas and Hamilton. Bottas ends up beating Hamilton to the line for the third spot. Hamilton finished in fourth. Verstappen finished in fifth. Alonso finished in sixth. Sainz finished in seventh. Perez in eighth. Ocon in ninth. While Van Dorn is in 10th. And as well as all from Saints all the way up to Stroll, they were all one lap down, while Werland and Ericsson end up 2 laps down, finishing in 15th and 16th respectively. So yeah, overall, I believe this was a Ferrari race due to the fact that Ferrari had dominated the race from start to finish, from when Vettel had not only from the start to finish rate, they actually dominated their weekend. At the start from free practice FP from practice one all the way up to the end of the race, we saw that Ferrari had dominated the entire weekend. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment on what you think of the race, because I believe that it was all Ferraris. It was basically a Ferrari race, to say the least. And of course, to subscribe to subscribe to my channel. I'll link the channel onto the description. It's Chance 100. It will be linked down to the description below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. And I believe that the next race will be at Spa, the Francorchamps at Belgium for the Belgium Grand Prix. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and we'll discuss about it later. Next race at Spa Francorchamps and for the Belgium Grand Prix.